Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are currently pushing through this little area down over here. Now, strategically speaking, they've got this logistics here, they've got this logistics here, they've got this logistics here. Those are the areas we are most interested in removing from their control. So that'll be absolutely wonderful, and we'll want to do so. I would love to push down the coast like this. The question is, how viable is that really? It may be. It may be viable to do this. We'll see. It'll require these guys getting over into position over here. And they're launching a counterattack here, which we can counter their counterattack by attacking here and having, like, these guys assist this attack like that. So we'll counter that like so. Whoa. That was wacky. So we'll counter that, and we're probably not going to succeed in taking this position, but that's okay for the time being. Now, we do have some research slots available, and what do we want to grab here? Well, there's not really that much more to grab here. We can certainly not grab anything here, so we can start working on some of these airframes. That'll be fine. We may even use some of them at some point. Okay, so we're in position now, and it looks like we're going to take this spot. Yeah, we're there. And we've got it. Reinforcements are coming in. Perfect. We don't need all of these guys here. They can stay. So that'll be fine for now. And we can then assist this attack pretty freely from here. They immediately stopped. Okay, sure. It's because their organization is too low to advance. So we'll allow their organization to recover a little bit. And these guys, they don't need to continue with what they're doing. I want to motorize this hub here, and I want to make sure that this is linked at the maximum possible link rate to our primary network, like so. Okay, so we'll get that underway. That seems good. I also want to make sure, and this is relatively low priority over here, I want to make sure that these get some defenses built in. Okay, so that looks good. This counterattack was very ill-advised on their part. Now these guys are very weak. We counterattack immediately. And then we assist that attack here, and we assist that attack here. Now, these guys aren't really capable of assisting the attack, apparently. But this was a very ill-advised counterattack by them. Okay, so we're going to proceed with that for now, and we're just continuing to grind away there. This is all status quo, and this should also be status quo for now. We're working our way through Ukraine's amount of manpower. We now know for a fact their amount of manpower. That's interesting. 745.57K. Apparently, we know that precisely. I don't know how we know that. I didn't make any changes to anything, but okay, apparently we know that. So that seems good, and as of right now, we're just going to continue to push through here. So this is going to get rid of a logistics hub for them, which is a big deal, but it's not their only source of logistics for this area or anything. This isn't going to precipitate overall front collapse, right? But it's still very, very good for us. So we will continue to work on that, and they're attacking down over here a little bit. For the moment, that's fine. We'll let them continue to do that. We expect this battle will be over very shortly. Okay, the battle is over, and we're on our way in. We're almost there. We're there. Okay, so now we want to work on... This is actually 7 levels of land fort. Wow, okay. That was a really ill-advised counterattack on their part then. So we're going to need to motorize up this logistics hub, and we'll need to make sure that this is connected in decently, but it will be. That's not going to be a problem. Okay, so that sounds great. And we can just bump this up to a level 5 rail connection, and then this can go up to a level 5 rail connection once that's done converting gauge. So for now, that seems absolutely A-okay. We do have a doctrine available, and we can just grab undersea blockade. Seems good. We also can work on potentially something in here. No, not right now. Okay. So we can just grab the advanced small airframe. Cool. Okay. So this army needs to change their offensive line at this point. They basically don't have one anymore. So their offensive line, honestly, I want their offensive line to be literally just this, but with the arrow on the other side. So for now, we're just going to do that. This is the only area we're interested in attacking at this time. So that all seems fine. Although we do need these troops to move around a little bit. Yeah, there we go. We're reorienting our troop count here. That seems fine. So this down here, this is basically a perennial front at this moment, and we're just going to head in over on this side as soon as some amount of tanks, some critical mass of tanks, arrives over here. I want to check in on our tank count. About even. Okay. There's still a lot of production efficiency on this tank line to ramp up, and that sounds good. This tank line is almost to its maximum efficiency. So this tank line is not really going to improve too much more over about 44 per day. So that's fine. But 44 tanks per day is still a pretty decent pace. So that seems fine for now. Do we want to start launching attacks out over here again, is the question we need to ask. And their number of troops here is actually kind of low, and they're losing out on a lot of their manpower. I want to start attacking over here again. Beautiful. So we're going to start making gains out over this direction, and that seems fine. Down here, we are very interested in launching attacks specifically here. Although our generals don't seem to be so concerned about it. But we'll just get in here. I'd like to drive down this coast. That's the dream right now. If we drive down the coast and we take this location, then they have no source of supply other than this victory point. And that victory point will be attackable from two sides. Why are they counterattacking? They should not do this. This is a terrible idea. That was another really ill-advised counterattack. I don't know why they're doing this. They should not be trying to attack us. That's bizarre. So they just lost this territory unless they can get another unit in here to defend it. And they don't have much time. And we got it. Okay, cool. So at this point, they've left their naval base not entirely undefended, but pretty close to undefended. We have these forces on their way in to reinforce this. I want to attack here. How are we doing on our supplies up over here anyway? It should be pretty good. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. So that looks good. We have additional forces on the way over here, but they're going to take a while to arrive. So this attack did not succeed. We needed the reinforcements to get here a little faster. Unfortunately, they just didn't. And these guys are almost certainly going to try to defend this area. Regardless, we're going to be in position here quite soon. What's the connection up here look like? Okay, yeah, I see. So that's fine. We'll be arriving here with the reinforcements shortly. I'm just thinking about the way that these are laid out right now. I'd love to encircle these units. And we kind of do have them encircled in a sort of way. Not really entirely because they have access to this naval base, but it's only a level 1 naval base. And eventually our forces will arrive here. Okay. So they have arrived, and we should probably remember to build land forts here. They're attacking this pretty heavily right now. We'll just let them exhaust themselves here. Once we get a level of naval base built here, or rather of land fort built here, which is going to be a little bit yet. That's this right here. Once we get that level of land fort built, I want to launch an attack. There we go. So we've got a level of land fort built here, and now what I want to do is I want to attack... I'm thinking here. Here's a little stronger. So I'm going to grab 3 of these tank units, and they're going to come in like this. In the meantime, we're going to launch an attack here and here. More of a pinning attack than anything else. And we'll assist that attack from here. Okay. So that'll be fine. The goal here is to take this position, and it looks likely. They're almost certainly going to try to defend this with something, but this isn't that vital of a position for them to lose. They don't have to have this. They are definitely sending someone in, but we got it. Okay. We're again immediately going to start building a level of land fort over here. Do we have control of the infrastructure over here? No, but we should be building up over this way. So we'll get that going. They launched this attack here, and this attack is not, strictly speaking, a hugely impactful thing. We're retreating from here, which is unfortunate. We do have another unit on the way in, but they're going to get kicked out. Actually, they held. They actually held. And we don't have a level of... What is our level of land fort here right now? 0. Okay. That's this one. Okay. That's noted. We're definitely going to want to bring a couple of additional units in over here. That's going to be a high priority. So we're going to get in over here, and that'll be fine. So at this moment, I was hoping that we'd have that level of land fort. We actually do, but these guys were still pushed out. I mean, they're tanks, right? They're not that great at defending. Let's see if these guys manage to get in time. I think that they will. I ordered this movement before these guys launched their attack. They didn't. Wow. Okay. I'm actually surprised about that. Well, I'm going to change the offensive line here, or rather give them an offensive line. And their offensive line is this. This is what I want from them. So we'll tell them to launch that for now, and that's okay. I want to check in on how things are looking up on this front. Have we made any gains here? The answer is yes, we have. They're not huge gains, but we have made some gains here. We also want to queue up some infrastructure up over here. That'll be fine. We've made a little bit of gain here, and yeah, that looks good. I do want to make sure that these land forts are going in, and that looks fine. So at this point, I want to check on their manpower. They're down another 200k from when we last checked. Okay. So they're having problems. Now, we're losing manpower too, but we've got a lot in the bank at this moment, and we'll probably want to recover after this war. We'll probably have to chill a bit, but that's not terribly surprising. So we can go ahead and grab ourselves pressure mines. That'll be fine. We can also get a special project going here, and we'll definitely want to do that. This is our general aircraft manufacturer, and we can just grab a range increase for now. That'll be okay. And oh, we can actually get another one. Sure, we can go for bomber specialists as well. We can get all of these, so that's fine. Okay, so we're busily attacking down over here, and actually it might end up going in our favor if we were to commit to this a little more. Our general doesn't want to commit to it, and I suspect that the reason for that is because it's concerned about a counterattack from here. I'm concerned about that for sure. But I do think that we can commit to this with perhaps 2 additional tanks. Okay. I'm going to toss in 1 more. We need to grab 1 from here. Yep, there we go. We really don't want to attack with more than this. So this unit's definitely retreating. We got another unit to retreat here. Okay. So we've let up on the attack for now, and these units have pretty low organization. That's understood. That's not terribly surprising, to be honest. So we do need to get more going on here. We'll get some aerial mine laying. And what else do we want in terms of research? Well, we can grab transport planes too. We can also grab a special project. The flying bomb sounds good. We've also got this guy who can take a preferred tactic. Now, he's an armor specialist. And we would like to go with, like, Blitz here for him. There we go. And then this guy, he can get a trait. He is an army group leader over an infantry army group. So I'm thinking that we don't mind either division recovery or reinforce rate. We'll go for division recovery for right now. That'll be okay. And then this guy, he's an army regrouping specialist, or he could be army offense or army morale. We'll take that sweet, sweet army offense specialist. Okay, so that seems decent. We're actually pretty close to making some gains over here. They're running into serious organization issues out here. So are we, to be clear. But we very well might be about to see a huge breakthrough over in this area. Okay, so we took this. That on its own isn't a huge breakthrough, but I'm just evaluating their overall fighting strength here, and I'm thinking, I think they're kind of on the verge of collapse. Now, we're struggling to hold this area. We do have some forces piling in here, and we would love to build some additional land forts to help us hold that. We'll see if we manage to actually hold this or not. It kind of looks like we won't. Okay, that's just going back and forth right now. Okay. Very, very back and forth right now over here. Neither army can really hold on to this position right now. Although, this is looking good. I think we just got it firmly. Yeah, we just got it firmly. So that's great. This is now fully under our control, and we are going to work on land fort levels down over here. So that'll make it almost impossible for them to dislodge us once we get dug in. Now what I want to do is I want to have these guys attack here again. So we're going to immediately launch that attack, and we can't really assist this attack anywhere, but I'd love to take this position. If we can take this position and cut them in half, that's enormous if that happens. Up over this way, we're checking in on the status here. Looks like we got pushed back over here, which isn't necessarily terribly surprising, but we are working on digging this in. So that'll be fine, and we're just trying to inflict casualties on them right now. They're at 502k, which is actually higher than I expected them to be at right now. So that means that they're not getting as many reinforcements where they want to have them at this moment. So that's interesting. I wonder if that's what we're seeing down here. That's a possibility. So I'd love to get this position taken. I'm going to order these tank units to do so. If we can take this and we can take this, that's ridiculously huge. We'll see if it happens. We're making definite gains over in this direction. There's no doubt about that. We're struggling a little bit with this attack right now, but I'm okay with that. As long as we push in one of these areas. That's the key here. So we've got these tanks on the way in, and they have taken this position at this moment. We need some infantry to get in there, of course, but the tanks appear that they're going to hold. We're going to start constructing land forts there, of course. We're running into some logistical problems out this far, it would appear. There's a hub right here, and there's this naval base right here, and then there's this hub. So as long as we can get connected up over here, it should be okay. So what I want to do is I want to launch this attack again. And we're going to use these guys as much as we can to assist the attack. They don't have a huge amount of organization out over here. But this is a really, really dangerous spot for the enemy. Which direction are they going to be retreating? They're splitting their retreat. Okay, that's kind of ideal. So if we can take this position and we just push them out, if we can take this position, this is unspeakably huge. We need a couple of these tanks to not leave this province, because otherwise they could attack this way. But look at that. That's huge right there. I'm going to go ahead and build some defenses right here. And now these guys are going to start stack wiping. So I want to launch attacks here. And let's get them out of here. That's going to be a huge amount of forces that we just wiped there. I believe that was 21 divisions when we cut them off. That's huge. This is an enormous breakthrough at this moment. We're about to wrap up this front. So with that in mind, I want to check up over here. How are things looking? Looks like we got pushed back to our original position here, but we're about to push them again. Yeah. This is going back and forth a lot. This is good. This is actually good. We want active fighting over here. So down this direction, they're down to 9 units here. Looks great. And they're all wiped. So these are now going to get redeployed as soon as our units get into here. They're going to get redeployed down over here. So that seems good. And at this moment, we just want these guys to basically launch an attack out over here. Just, I don't care where you're attacking, just attack. And the same thing with this unit here. But I think they're already told to attack. So I want these guys to launch their attack right here. That's the dream. We get this naval base taken care of, and we get this front eliminated at long last. Up over this way, we are struggling to attack up this direction. I want these guys to move over to a cautious attack. Okay. So we're going to cautiously attack here, and that seems fine. I want to check in on Ukraine again. 453k, noted. So we're still outperforming them on raw losses, and we had more manpower than them going into the war. So that's great. We just took over their naval base, and that means that there's just this province remaining. Get in there, wipe them out. They have nowhere to retreat to, and they can't win this. So now we're going to have some units here that don't have orders. And the question is, how do we want to handle this? Well, we're going to want to redistribute these for sure. We've taken some losses in this army. So that's definitely noted. Where are these guys at? Ah, they're the ones that are up here. Noted. We've seen some losses over here, though, in terms of, like, raw numbers of troops. So I'm thinking about parting out these forces, at least in some cases. So this is now dealt with. This is completely over. We're just waiting for them to arrive over here. There we go. So we can see that these guys, some of these don't have orders, right? So this tank division here, I'm going to move them into this army group at this point, and we can grab a preferred tactic. This tactic is going to be Blitz. And we're going to place them right up over here, I think. So they're going to front line right there, with their offensive line for now being to push up simply to here. No further. Then, out over this direction, we've got these infantry units here. Or actually, this is an infantry unit. I'm going to put that here. The rest of these are tanks. So I'd like to repurpose these tanks up over this direction, I feel like. This is going to be a very, very thinly spread front if we just do this. And I don't necessarily want them to be that thinly spread. So we're going to edit this front line, and we're going to shorten this front line and put it about here or so, with their offensive line plan being to push to about here. And then they can get started on that once they arrive. Okay, now we've got this unit. This is all infantry, and this I'm going to part out, and we're going to put them in here. So we're going to select half of this, and I'm going to put them, actually, we're going to need about 9, and they're going to go here. Okay, now we're going to grab half of these, we actually need 6 in total. They're going to go here. And then we're going to grab these. They're going to go here. So that will get that fully maxed out. Then we've got this unit here. That's tanks. I'm not too concerned about that. This unit is just a very, very small unit of infantry at this moment. And I'm thinking about putting that over here on this front. So that would mean that we'd put them here to help defend this. And then these guys, essentially we'd merge these together like that. Okay. So these are all off to go do their thing. Excellent. So with that front cleaned up, we can now start to focus on this. If we can get that done, then we can focus in up here. And at that point, we're expecting Ukraine's support to have pretty thoroughly collapsed. They're down to 449k troops in their manpower pool, and that is looking good. So we'll get all of these forces moved on up, and that'll take a little while. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to start working on collapsing this other African front that has just been frozen since the beginning of the war. But we are going to start doing probably some serious damage to these guys. I'm looking at their fighting strength, and they're not phenomenal, especially down here. So that looks good. We'll just get in position, and that'll be fine. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Spock, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video. And as always, I will see you all next time.